Inmate, gangbanger, meth head, brawler, liar, manipulator. A few years ago, that was me. Prisoner number 1152315. I spent nearly a decade inside Missouri State Prison, whereof I became one of the high-ranking members of a very notorious gang inside the state. But I was miserable, and my life had really amounted to nothing until something happened that transformed my life. In this video, I want to share with you some insights into the beginning of my story and lay the groundwork for future videos that I hope are both enlightening and inspirational. I'm Josiah Hall, and this is True Freedom Ministries. My brother Michael and I were discussing who could relate to and benefit the most from my story. After careful consideration, I realized that young people who are considered at risk would probably benefit the most from what I have learned over the last 17 years. And let me tell you why. When I was in prison, most of the faces I saw were young. I would say between the ages of like 18 and 29. Imagine being 18 with a 22-year prison sentence. That's longer than you've even been alive. Recent research revealed that nearly 36% of 2.2 million incarcerated in the U.S. are young adults. That's not counting juvenile detention centers, county jails, rehabs, etc., because if you include those, that percentage increases astronomically. The word recidivism is used to describe former inmates who, upon being released from prison, end up going back to prison. Considering the recidivism rate in the nation fluctuates between 75 to 80%, depending upon which state you are in, it doesn't seem like prison is the answer to long-term successful rehabilitation. In a recent documentary, Dr. Steve Turley talks about a radical transformation that took place in Angola Prison in Louisiana. Angola Prison in Louisiana has about 6,300 inmates, over 85% of which are serving life without parole, and 45 of them are on death row. From the early 90s, they experienced an average of 1,500 assaults per year. In February 1995, a new warden took over, and by incorporating Christianity and faith-based approach, the prison began to grow through a transformation. That annual average of 1,500 assaults gradually dropped to less than 300 per year as thousands of inmates were coming to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. What was once called America's bloodiest prison was now becoming a model to prisons in many other states. After visiting Angola, famous evangelist Ravi Zacharias stated where there were gangs of thugs, there is now gangs of pastors. Obviously, America's bloodiest prison was not too much for Jesus. One thing that I noticed that the warden had stated was that on death row, you could have a most beautiful woman walk down the catwalk, and there wouldn't even be so much as a cat call directed towards her. Profanity is no longer allowed in the prison by the inmates or the staff. They've underwent a radical transformation because we have a radical savior. The Department of Corrections is a governmental agency responsible for overseeing the incarceration of people convicted of crime. The word correction, according to Webster's dictionary, means to remove mistakes from or to adjust. Considering that the recidivism rate is through the roof, it looks like something is missing. Did Angola prison find that missing something? On June 25th, 1962, prayer was removed from schools. Since then, several political activist groups have tried to have the phrase "under God" removed from our pledge. It's no wonder why we've seen an increase in immorality. To those who don't believe in God, let me say this. Even in your unbelief, you still must agree that the Bible contains a good moral code of conduct. If you were to conform your lives to the principles it teaches, you'd lead a blessed life, whether you believe or you don't believe. To the young people struggling with addictions, affiliated with gangs, being held captive by instant gratifications, calm desires, and momentary pleasures, I ask this. Are you happy? What about when you don't have a fix? How about when you're not the life of that party? I want to share with you a better life filled with success, happiness, peace, joy, freedom, and so much more. This same life I'm experiencing after years of destructive choices. And in upcoming videos, I'm going to share with you how you can experience this too. Right now, I'd like to ask you to do 3 things. First, hit the subscribe button below and then hit the bell icon. This will allow you to be notified whenever I release a new video. Second, if you found this video inspiring or informative, hit the like icon to give it a thumbs up. Third, leave a comment below and let me know what God has done for you. And if you're needing Him to do something for you, then let me know that as well so that I can keep you in my prayer. Once again, I'm Josiah Hall, and this is True Freedom Ministries. And remember, he that the Son sets free is free indeed. Love and prayers always.
Freedom.